Greetings, everyone. In 2021, we are going to make the effort to do everything that is necessary that will allow us to heal ourselves, to take back our power, and to restore balance in our own life. And when you focus your energy on repairing you and sort of creating this environment around yourself where happiness can exist, you then remove the sort of power you give to others to make you happy. You essentially have to say, I deserve to be happy. And you cannot rely on someone else making that happen for you. Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about narcissist. We're going to talk about codependency, and we're going to talk about the toxic abuse you receive from other folks. But as bad as that sound, that someone is abusing you, you have to take back your power and you have to realize that you have enabled them over the years. So with everything, there's duality. Someone is hurting you, but at the end of the day, you're facilitating that. Now, without getting into too many details here, I just want to focus on some things that we overlook. And in one of my viewed videos, I said, block and delete and cement in some cases. And that's where I'm going to that line I'm going to toe as we are talking about this today. So many people are suffering. So many people are hurting. So many of us as, individuals have these traumas that we've endured. And if you take a clear look at these situations, of course, you see parts or roles that you have played in your own suffering. So today we're going to say, for example, starting out with a story. As an individual who didn't grow up with my biological mother. I mean, I lived with her until I was about 4 or 5. I keep, fluctuating between those two ages. But to be specific, no longer than age 5. And growing up with an aunt and, over the years, always searching for a mother. Now, I have all these stories, these toxic situations that I've endured with my biological mother, and having time when even here on this video, reaching out to her time and time again, but it always ends the same way, where I've had to remove myself to have that no contact. And the thing is, there's something that happens with you. When you love somebody, it's not very easy to cut that person off or to maintain no contact with that individual, because one, you love them, and then there's a guilt associated with you moving away yourself from those ones, because depending on the narcissist, depending on the representation of that narcissist, you might end up feeling like, oh, this person is wounded and this person needs me and I can't abandon this person right now. But if you continue to do that, you might not abandon the individual you think needs you, but in the end you abandon yourself. You hurt yourself to the point where after a while you start suffering from what is called, what is it? These personality defects or disorder start becoming you. Okay, you start suffering from anxiety. You start suffering from depression. These ones are so toxic in your life that if you don't let them go, ultimately you are going to succumb in the end. And then they will find someone else to go latch onto and destroy. You don't have to worry about these narcissistic personalities because they do everything they need to survive. They don't need you, and they have demonstrated that over time. But you always come back thinking that they need you, and so you become, codependent on these very ones who are destroying you. You cut them off, and you can't question that. When you do that, you have to stay far away. There are individuals that if you stay as long as you're around them, or you allow them to stay around you, you can never succeed in life. You can never, because they bring with them a certain energy that TAP, they tap into your spirit, into your psyche. And before you know it, they're destroying you and you are enabling them in doing so. So when we say cut off, sometimes the cut off has to be permanent. Because if you're dealing with a narcissistic personality, they cannot change. It is something that is written in their DNA. You cannot change these individuals. You have to just let them go from your life, and you have to do so permanently. Now, when we're talking about friends, that's very easy to do. It's not very easy to cut off loved ones, to cut off family, to cut off, for example, your boss or your co-worker, because you have no choice. You have to go to work, or you have no choice. You have to live with these ones. But there are ways around it to preserve your energy, to preserve you. And if you realize and you look closely at some of these, narcissists, they're dangerous. They can destroy you physically, spiritually, emotionally. Some of these narcissists, when you realize how far they will go in manipulating you, you have to then say to yourself, it's life and death. If you look at it that way and say it's life and death, you'll be able to save yourself. I have been in narcissistic relationships in the past, and have poor persons say, well, if you leave me, then you'll never find a friend like me again. Or if you go away, then you'll never find love again. And you will believe that because they have this kind of hold. First of all, they're very charismatic. First of all, they're wolves in sheep clothing. So they can be very nice. In the relationship situation, you go through this honeymoon phase where when you remember the nice time, it's addictive. But the nice time is rare and hardly comes around. But when it does come around, it feels so good that you use that to overshadow those bad times, which is 99% of the time. The relationship is terrible and toxic for 99% of the time, but somehow the sweetness, the sugar, when it is poured, it's so lovely that you're looking on that and using that, that honey to keep you glued to something that will, eventually destroy you. And so if you look at the personality disorder of these ones and take it for what it is, that they're incapable of loving you. They don't even love themselves. They are not able to love you. And so it's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous game. And so these ones, you go through this cycle of saying it's over, and you separate yourself from these ones, and they lure you back by, emailing you and texting you. You have to cut all of these ties. Don't answer their email. Don't answer their messages. And if you block and delete them and they make some fake account and reach back out to you, then after a while, if you are strong enough, you'll realize that these ones, when they can't get a hold of you, they can't sink their claw in you, they're going to start spreading terrible gossip or terrible lies on you. They're going to, try to reach out to people who you love and who care about you and try to separate you from these ones. They're divisive. These ones, and this goes way past just relationship with people. It goes past, just family members or just friends. It's wide. Some of these people in the world who have control, they're narcissists and they're dangerous. They come as philanthropists. They come to say, we want to save the world and I'm going to use my good for the better good of the world. Meantime, they're just thinking of ways how they can destroy people's lives. And so don't think it's just in the movies, and don't think it's just, this little idea over here, or it's just me. You have to protect yourself from these ones, not give them the opportunity to ride in on any chariot to try to save you, because they always present themselves as someone who wants to save others. But at the same time, while they claim they're saving others, they're the one who is in need of help. But you can't help them. Let them go to a psychologist. Let them reach out to a spiritualist to go and remove that demon spirit from off them. So yeah, as we continue to work, if you want more in this series, if you want to talk about more in depth, how do you deal with, for example, this or that, state that in the comment section, and share. If you know someone is a narcissist and you want to escape these ones, stay tuned as we continue in this series. This is a new year, And we're not worried about fixing other persons. We are going to fix ourselves. We're going to work. We're going to do the work to understand where we're at. And regardless of what people are doing to us, we are responsible for our own action. We are responsible for doing what is necessary to move on. Stay blessed, everybody.